I reunited with my friend Amanda for the first time in 23 years, and we were laughing and chatting while looking at pictures of my newborn first grandchild. Here's a picture of my grandchild right after she was born. Isn't she adorable?
She's really cute, but she doesn't look much like you, does she?
Maybe it's because my daughter takes after my husband, but don't you think her eyes look just like mine? I was thrilled to finally have the chance to brag about my long-awaited grandchild. But then, the next moment,
Do you think so? I think she looks more like me than you. Oh, by the way, isn't it amazing that your daughter and little Hannah have the same birthday?
I felt a sudden jolt of fear and discomfort when Amanda knew things she shouldn't have known. So, I decided to secretly record our conversation at that moment. Later that night, after finishing my household chores and taking a breather, I decided to listen to the recorded audio. But most of it was just an ordinary conversation. If there's anything that bothers me, it's probably these 10 rules. Amanda had given me a note saying, "Wishing your cafe success." It was a bit strange, but it seemed like normal stuff. However, as I stared at it for a while, I felt like some letters were slowly floating off the paper. When I put them together in order, it read, "Baby is mine." Surprised by the sudden sense of realization, I then tried to figure out the meaning of the sentence. Your grandchild clearly referred to my first grandchild, who was just born recently. It was a topic we discussed during the tea party, so there was no mistake about that. But what does "it is mine" mean? I couldn't make sense of this part at all. I tried to decipher other parts, but this was the only coherent sentence. Amanda's personality has changed a bit. Maybe it's just a bad joke. I tried to reassure myself and calm my nerves. But at that moment, I had no idea that this was the beginning of a terrifying gift from Amanda. I am Susan White, a former part-time employee in my 40s. My husband, Bob, and I started longing for a rural life after our only daughter, Mary, got married and moved out. A few years ago, my husband decided to take early retirement, so we sold our house and moved back to my hometown. There was an old house left untouched since my parents passed away. We decided to renovate it and open a farmhouse-style cafe.
I never thought our dream would come true like this. Let's continue working together. Just the two of us.
Absolutely, let's do this. On the night we finished moving in, my husband and I had this conversation, celebrating our new beginning together. However, we had no idea at that time. Little did we know that this move would trigger a terrifying event. For a while after moving back to my hometown, we were busy cleaning the old house and working on the interior construction. One day, I noticed a letter in the mailbox, which was unusual. A letter? But this place is only meant to be a store, so we shouldn't be getting any letters here.
Isn't it just an advertisement or a newspaper subscription?
It's true that when someone moves into an empty house, things like that are often delivered. However, the letter in the mailbox was clearly not one of those. It's addressed to me, but there's no address on it, and this envelope doesn't even have a stamp. The more I looked at it, the more suspicious it felt. Nervously, I opened the letter, a cold chill creeping down my spine as I feared the unknown. But the moment I read the letter, that fear instantly turned into joy and nostalgia. No way, I can't believe it. Look, Bob.
What's got you so worked up?
It's a letter from my best friend Amanda. She moved back here a few years ago too, and she wants to meet up again.
Amanda? Oh, you mean the one who was with you through high school? She even came to our wedding, didn't she?
Yeah. After that, we both got busy and lost touch before I knew it. The Christmas cards started coming back undelivered a long time ago, and we fell out of contact.
Now that you mention it, I remember. The cafe's opening preparations are going well, so you should go see her whenever you want.
Thanks, Bob. I'll get in touch with her right away. I first met Amanda when I was in the 2nd grade. She had moved to this town because of her parents' work. Amanda was a quiet and reserved child back then. So she often stayed by herself in class, always looking a bit lonely. I was curious about Amanda, but I couldn't find the right moment to talk to her. The thing that brought us together. It was a pencil featuring a popular character at the time. When I saw her carefully putting that pencil into her case, I thought it was the perfect chance and spoke to her right away.
Oh, I have the same one. Do you like it too, Amanda? Oh yeah. It's my treasure. Really? Hey, I have a ton of stuff like that at my house. Want to come over and see it? Can I come to your house? Of course. I'm Susan. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Since that day, we were best friends. Even if we weren't in the same class, we spent almost all our time together outside of lessons. We even promised to go to the same college. But then, in the summer of our senior year in high school, Amanda's parents got divorced and she had to move far away. Naturally, she couldn't attend the college we had planned. I cried my eyes out as we said our goodbyes. We promised to meet again someday and exchanged contact information. Even after starting college, we kept in touch occasionally. But between school and part-time jobs, we never had the chance to meet again. We finally saw each other again at my wedding. There was so much I wanted to talk about, but Amanda couldn't attend the reception due to work. After that, I tried to arrange another meeting a few times, but our schedules just didn't match. Eventually, we lost contact. I never thought Amanda would reach out to me. I'm so glad we moved back here. A new chapter in life, and the reunion with a friend who had always been on my mind. My heart was full of happiness that day. The day of our reunion arrived, and I was feeling warm and excited. Amanda, over here.
Susan, sorry, did I keep you waiting?
Not at all. I just got here myself.
Great. Then, let's go.
It had been 23 years, and neither of us could hide the signs of aging, but I knew it was Amanda at first sight. It was because of her distinctive mole and the same shy smile she had always had. She looked a bit worn out at the wedding, but she seems healthier now. Back at my wedding, Amanda had mentioned she couldn't join the reception because of work. Although she was well dressed, she looked rather tattered. However, today, Amanda wore light makeup, her skin looked healthy, and she seemed full of life. Amanda must be living a happy life too. With that thought, I was looking forward to our conversation even more. But once we started talking, it was quite different from what I had imagined. First of all, Amanda hardly talked about herself. What kind of job does she have now? How does she spend her weekends? Does she have a family? She wouldn't answer any of these kinds of questions. And with almost every reply, she would say something to change the subject.
Let's not talk about me. I want to hear about you, Susan.
If she's not talking, maybe it's because she doesn't want to. Even though we were best friends, it's probably not easy to talk about sensitive matters with someone you haven't seen in 23 years. I felt a bit sad about it, but I kept my feelings to myself. So, as Amanda requested, I answered every question she had about my life.
Your husband took early retirement, right? Does that mean he got a bigger retirement package?
They say it's more than if you retire at 60, but when you think about life after quitting, it doesn't really feel like we gained anything.
Oh, how's your daughter? Mary, wasn't it?
She's doing well. Oh, actually, she got married last year. And just recently, my grandchild was born. Want to see a picture?
Of course. Let me see.
To be honest, I was itching to talk about my first grandchild to someone. So at that moment, I was really excited to finally share it. Little did I know this would be the beginning of a nightmare. This is the photo taken the moment my grandchild was born. Isn't she adorable?
She's so cute, but she doesn't look like you, Susan.
Maybe it's because Mary looks more like my husband, but don't you think her eyes look just like mine?
Really? I think she looks more like me than you. Mary's eyes look just like mine too.
What? Really?
Yes. Oh, by the way, isn't it amazing that Mary and little Hannah have the same birthday? It's such a miracle. I'd like to send gifts for both of them next time. What do you think would be good? Could you ask Mary for me?
Huh? Oh yeah, sure. Did I ever tell her my grandchild's name and about the birthday? I felt a sense of unease when Amanda started talking about things she shouldn't know yet. I still didn't know anything about Amanda, so I felt like I was just bragging about myself, and it made me feel a bit uncomfortable. And then it happened again.
Oh, by the way, Mary gave birth at her hometown hospital, right? It's kind of poetic, isn't it? Giving birth at the same hospital where she was born. She must have felt so emotional.
There it is again. Amanda had mentioned something else she shouldn't have known. Twice was just too much, so this time, I decided to question her. That's true, but how did you know that?
Huh? You just mentioned it yourself a little while ago. Oh no, are you already losing it?
Believing Amanda was hiding something, I was completely taken aback by her response. Did I? Sorry, I need to use the restroom for a moment. Amanda was in such high spirits, but her smile gave me the creeps. It was so unsettling that I rushed to the bathroom. Looking in the mirror to calm myself down, I saw my own face, pale and drained of blood. What's going on? How does she know so much about Mary and my grandchild? The bizarre situation made my unease and discomfort grow stronger and stronger. No matter how much I thought about it, I couldn't figure out how Amanda knew all these things. My mind was on the verge of panic, and I even started to wonder if I was really losing it. Calm down. Either I'm losing my mind, or Amanda knows something. I need to find out which it is. After thinking it through desperately, I decided to use my phone's recording feature to capture the rest of our conversation. At that moment, I just wanted to know the truth behind this unsettling feeling.
Oh, Susan, you're back. The dessert's here.
Oh, right. Wow, it looks delicious. To be honest, I didn't care about the dessert at all anymore. But to figure out what's going on, I have to keep it together. So I forced myself to act cheerful. However, with the arrival of the dessert, the topic of my daughter and grandchild ended there. Instead, the conversation shifted to the cafe that we planned to open.
That's wonderful. I'm so glad your dream is coming true. I'm rooting for you.
At first, Amanda spoke cheerfully and encouragingly. But gradually, her comments grew more negative.
But do you think you can make it in such a small town? You hear about so many neighbor disputes. Are you sure you're going to be okay? Will customers even come? What if you end up with an empty cafe?
Sure, being a business owner means seriously considering whether we can keep going in the long run. I know she's concerned, but I wish she'd put it more gently. Has Amanda's personality changed? At that moment, I felt the weight of those 23 years. The kind, reserved Amanda from my memories felt like a completely different person now, and it left me feeling strangely empty. So, I decided to give up trying to figure out what was bothering me and suggested we wrap things up for the day.
Oh, wait a minute. I have one last gift for you, Susan.
With a strangely happy expression, Amanda began rummaging through her bag. A gift? It seemed odd to give a gift at this point, but I was genuinely touched by Amanda's gesture.
Actually, I used to work in customer service. So I came up with 10 rules for a successful cafe.
Really? Wow, thank you. I was immediately interested in Amanda's past. Sure, part of it was wanting to solve the mystery of my unease, but more than anything, I wanted to know more about her life up to now. But Amanda wasn't going to let me ask about that.
Here it is.
Before I could even get a word in, Amanda pulled a note out of her bag and began reading it slowly.
1. Bright smile. 2. Always take on challenges. 3. Be sure to operate the cafe with joy. 4. You should operate the cafe leisurely. 5. Imagine your grandchild's smile. 6. Spring water. 7. Many types of food. 8. Is the lightning bright enough? 9. Nostalgic interior. 10. Energetic music. That's all. Here, this note is for you. Follow these, and you'll definitely succeed.
Thanks. I'll make sure to use them as a reference. The content seemed a bit strange, but since she took the time to come up with it, I thanked her. By the way, Amanda, about that customer service job you mentioned.
All right then, let's call it a day. I'll go settle the bill.
Amanda was still smiling brightly, but there was a hint of distance in her voice as she briskly walked away. That smile, too, left me with an eerie feeling.
Say hi to Mary and little Hannah for me.
To top it off, she seemed oddly fixated on my daughter and grandchild as we said our goodbyes. I became scared of everything about Amanda and hurriedly left without even trying to put on a smile. I'm home. Phew, I'm exhausted. Back home, I collapsed onto the sofa.
Whoa, what happened? Did you have too much fun?
Seeing how drained I was, my husband asked with a hint of humor. You know, it wasn't fun at all. Oh, by the way, Bob, did you ever meet or talk to Amanda after the wedding?
Huh? No way. I don't even remember what she was like.
Right. Have I been getting more forgetful lately? Like, not remembering what I said just a few minutes ago. Have I been doing that?
Whoa, what's going on all of a sudden?
Just answer me. Am I getting forgetful or not?
Calm down. Sure, there's some forgetfulness with age, but nothing that extreme. What's gotten into you?
Actually, I told my husband about what had happened today. but he just laughed and said, "Maybe you're just getting forgetful, Susan."
You two had a lot to catch up on, so it's only natural to forget some things. Anyway, listen to this. It was a tough day today.
What happened?
When I went to the cafe to get ready for the opening, it looked like crows had scattered garbage all over the place in front. It was a mess.
Oh, again? It's been like this since the day before yesterday, right?
We haven't even put out any trash since we're not open yet. So why is there garbage scattered around every morning? Is it some kind of hangout spot for crows? We need to figure this out soon before it starts bothering the neighbors.
Yeah, you're right. At that moment, Amanda's words about neighbor disputes flashed through my mind, and a wave of anxiety about the future of the cafe hit me. No. It hasn't even started yet. Why am I getting worried now? I tried to snap myself out of it and decided to make some sample cafe menu items for dinner to take my mind off things. Later that night, after finishing my household chores and taking a break, I decided to listen to the recording from today. But honestly, since the conversation about my daughter had already ended, it wasn't very helpful. If anything, it's just this list of 10 rules. I stared intently at the note Amanda had given me, repeating it over and over in my mind. Suddenly, I felt as if certain letters were starting to float off the page. They were all the first letters of each rule. When I connected them, it spelled out, "Baby is mine." Surprised by this sudden realization, I began to ponder the meaning of the sentence. Baby must refer to Hannah. But "is mine" made no sense at all. I tried other combinations of letters, but only the first letters formed a coherent sentence. I thought so hard about it that I even considered it might be a kidnapping threat, but that seemed way too far-fetched. I decided to stop thinking about it for the day. For now, let's just get some sleep. With that thought, I closed my eyes, but I couldn't fall asleep easily that night. The next day arrived. Once again, there was garbage scattered in front of the cafe. To make matters worse, there was a note near the scattered garbage bags that read, "Follow the garbage disposal rules."
It's not even our trash. This is going to ruin our reputation before we even open.
For my husband, who was working so hard to make our dream a reality, this trash incident had become the top priority that needed to be resolved urgently. So, we changed our opening preparation plans for the day and focused on tackling the garbage issue. Since I was still tired from the previous night's lack of sleep, I decided to rest at home for the day. However, being alone made me dwell on Amanda, so I couldn't even nap. Before I knew it, I had spent hours staring at the list of 10 rules. Maybe I should just meet Amanda again and talk to her. I had just opened my phone to send her a message when it hit me. Oh, now I remember. I noticed that Amanda had included her social media profile link in her latest message. She suggested we exchange social media accounts. I had a gut feeling that I might discover the source of the unsettling feeling, so I accessed Amanda's profile. The first thing I did was check her profile. Ah, I see. Amanda lost her husband quite a while ago. That's why she doesn't want to talk about her family much. Knowing a bit more about Amanda's past gave me a glimmer of hope. But most of her posts were just pictures of desserts or lunches. Maybe the meaning is in the text, not the pictures. Thinking that there might be hidden meanings in the text, like with the list of 10 rules, I spent the next 5 days carefully reviewing all her posts. But there were no posts that resembled that mysterious note. So next, I turned my attention to her social connections. Maybe someone in her circle works at the hospital where Hannah was born. With that thought, I started checking each account one by one from the top. It didn't take long to find a suspicious account. It had the exact same icon as Amanda's, but in black and white, and the name Michelle. This person must be her accomplice. At that moment, I was filled with hope that I was finally uncovering the truth. It had been about a week since my meal with Amanda. "All right, Michelle, show me the truth." With the feeling of finally reaching the finish line, I accessed Michelle's account. What is this? However, Michelle's social media page had no images or even a profile. The only clue was a few posts that looked like diary entries. For now, let's take a look inside. I didn't have high hopes, but as soon as I started reading the first post, I was filled with fear, and my body began to tremble uncontrollably. The post began on the day I had tea with Amanda. This was the entry for that day.
Today, I met with S for the first time in ages. As always, she was condescending and just bragged about herself. It was so annoying. She happily showed off pictures of her newborn grandchild. But that baby is actually my grandchild. S has no idea. She's so pitiful.
From this, it became immediately clear that Michelle was Amanda. I had only heard about them in rumors, but this must be what they call a secret account. It seems I was the only one who thought we were still on good terms. The hidden truths were so overwhelming that I was in shock. At the same time, I stumbled upon something that made no sense.
That baby is my grandchild. S has no idea. She's so pitiful.
This part about my grandchild seemed to connect to the message from the 10 rules, "Baby is mine." So I decided to read through all the diary entries that day to figure out what Amanda was trying to convey. But the more I read Michelle's diary, the more eerie it became, only adding to my confusion. To sum up what the diary entries said, it went like this.
S's daughter and my daughter were born at the same hospital and got switched. The proof is that my real daughter's birth weight was the same as S's daughter's, 6.5 pounds. S must have felt so proud showing off the grandchild my daughter actually gave birth to.
Of course, that was impossible. When my daughter was born, there were no other newborns in the hospital. The nurses were so attentive that I felt we were getting special treatment. The idea of the babies being switched was obviously a lie, but the fact that Amanda knew the hospital, birth date, and birth weight of my daughter was deeply unsettling. That was what truly creeped me out. The more I read, the deeper the mystery grew, with no clarity in sight. 3 days after discovering Michelle's diary, noticing a new post, I immediately checked its content. What I found was even more terrifying.
S and her husband are planning to open a cafe, but it seems they've already been causing trouble in the neighborhood by scattering trash. She stole my daughter and ignores society's rules. I wouldn't go to a place run by such a scary person. Everyone, beware.
At the end of the post, there was a URL showing the location of our cafe. If such a misunderstanding spreads, our cafe will have to close immediately. I felt my whole body trembling with anger at Amanda's actions, spreading false information so openly to an unknown number of people. This is unacceptable, no matter what. At that moment, I resolved to confront Amanda head-on. 4 days later, I called Amanda out again. She showed up at our meeting place with the same cheerful smile as before. She looked like a friend looking forward to seeing me. But I knew the horrifying truth hidden beneath that smile. This Michelle person is really you, Amanda, isn't it? Why are you spreading these lies on social media? Delete them right now. I couldn't hold back my anger, and my tone was quite harsh. But for some reason, Amanda just laughed, seeming to enjoy my outburst. What's so funny? This isn't a joke or a game.
Well, it's just that I've never seen you so mad before, Susan. You look so ugly when you're angry. I just couldn't help but laugh.
Amanda's irrelevant and rude comment left me stunned. She just laughed, then casually started sipping her coffee.
Well, you figured it out quicker than I thought. I expected it to take longer. Maybe those 10 hints helped.
I was shocked by the difference in how we were feeling, but it helped me regain my composure. I explained to Amanda that there were no other newborns in the hospital when Mary was born, and I asked her once more to delete her social media posts. However, Amanda flatly refused to delete the posts. Not only that, but she began making outrageous claims.
Yes, I wrote lies. They weren't born at the same time. I actually snuck into the hospital and swapped your daughter with mine. The outcome is the same. The child you thought was yours is actually mine.
That's impossible. Stop lying and tell me the truth.
Impossible or not, that's the truth. Let me ask you this. How do you think I know about the birth? It's because I swapped them. You had no idea you were raising my child. Serves you right.
Amanda said this with a smug look on her face and laughed triumphantly. I could only turn away from the reality before me, my shoulders slumping. I don't believe any of this, and neither does he. What do you think? Responding to my call, my husband, Bob, and a man approached from a nearby table.
What? How?
The moment Amanda saw the man's face, her smug expression turned to shock. I called him to get to the bottom of this. When I asked him about your social media posts, he said he wanted to talk to you directly.
No way. Henry, why are you here?
That's my line, Mom.
No, it wasn't that I was devastated by the idea of my daughter being switched. What crushed me was the fact that someone I trusted and wished to see again, my friend Amanda, hated me so much.
Henry, you knew Susan.
No, I didn't. I got contacted by them about this situation. Mom, why would you lie like this?
It's not a lie. I never told you, but you actually have a sister.
That can't be true. You told me, I can't have any more children, but I'm happy because I have you.
That's, well, the stork brought her.
Mom, this is such an obvious lie. What are you trying to achieve?
Henry's raised voice seemed to shrink Amanda, who suddenly appeared like a completely different person. After finding Michelle's diary on social media, I continued looking into Amanda's connections. That's how I found her son, Henry, and reached out to him. To be honest, I didn't expect much and thought that reaching out of the blue would probably be ignored.
I've actually been worried about my mom's strange behavior lately.
However, Henry reached out to me proactively. With this strong ally, we met with Henry before confronting Amanda to confirm the facts. The truth we uncovered was unexpected. After her parents divorced, Amanda lived with her mother, but during her second year of college, her mother ran off with a man. Later, it was discovered that her mother had accumulated a large debt and loan sharks began harassing them. Amanda dropped out of college and started working nights to pay off the debt. She became romantically involved with a man she met during that time, resulting in the birth of Henry, but she was unable to marry him and ended up as a single mother.
When I left home, my mom told me everything about her life, my father, and her health.
Her health? Does Amanda have an illness?
No, actually, when I was born, they found a condition and had to remove her uterus during the delivery. She told me that's why she has a big scar on her abdomen.
I see. So, there's no way Amanda could have had another child besides you, Henry?
That's right. Also, my mom's been living in this town for almost 10 years. She said it was her favorite place with the best memories, so it made her feel at peace. But a few years ago, she started acting erratically, suddenly becoming agitated or overly cheerful.
The period when Amanda's emotions became unstable. That was the same time when my husband and I moved here. When I heard this, I felt certain it wasn't a coincidence. Sadly, my intuition was right. Even after revealing we knew everything, Amanda kept that eerie smile on her face. Henry, clearly frustrated by Amanda's attitude, asked in a firm voice,
Mom, tell me, what were you trying to accomplish by doing all this?
Amanda smirked and answered gleefully,
What do you think? I just wanted to make Susan suffer, even if just a little. Oh, it's such a shame it got exposed so soon.
But behind her words and smile, there was clear hatred in her eyes as she stared at me. Why, we were best friends. Amanda responded with irritation to my confusion.
Huh? Don't pretend to be a saint when you've been looking down on me all along.
What? What do you mean? I was utterly taken aback. However, my reaction seemed to irritate Amanda even more. She let out a big sigh and then, in a rushed and angry tone, began to rant.
That pencil was my treasure, and you had shelves full of merchandise. While I was desperately paying off my parents' debts, you were a carefree college student. You had a lavish wedding, a happy family, and now a cafe with your husband? A grandchild, too? Enough already.
Stunned by how outrageous her words were, I remained silent, and Amanda continued.
You showed off your happiness with those Christmas cards, and now you flaunt it in front of my face. You're a terrible person. Give me back my peaceful life.
You mean that's why?
Yes. Every time I was miserable, you looked down on me and bragged about your happiness. This is revenge. It's all your fault, Susan.
Her selfish and one-sided reasoning left me and my husband speechless. Then Henry, who had been listening, snapped at Amanda.
That's not true. Do you even realize what you're saying?
Amanda turned to glare at me, then unleashed a stream of insults.
And now you're trying to take my son away from me too? You really are a horrible woman.
Hearing those words from someone I once considered my best friend nearly broke me. Amanda, just tell me one thing. How did you find out about my daughter and grandchild?
I peeked at the hospital records when I was working there temporarily. You made it easy by showing up with Mary right in front of me, so I knew which hospital it was.
I see. And the story about the swap was for your revenge too.
Exactly. Isn't it the ultimate misery to find out your beloved daughter and grandchild aren't actually related to you? It's a shame it was uncovered so soon, but with the cafe's failure practically guaranteed, I'll take it as a win.
Amanda burst into laughter, her face twisted with a malicious grin. At that moment, I realized the person before me was no longer my friend, and tears welled up in my eyes. My husband noticed and gently pulled me into his arms. In a calm voice, he began to speak.
Amanda, you've been dumping trash in front of our cafe every morning, haven't you?
What? What are you talking about? It's your fault for being so careless. Don't blame me.
It's useless to lie. You're clearly caught on the security camera.
He showed Amanda the footage on his phone. After reuniting with Amanda, my husband had immediately installed security cameras the next day to deal with the trash issue. The camera had captured a woman with a distinctive mole. Amanda, without a doubt.
I'm planning to take this to the police. However, if you delete the social media posts and promise never to contact us again, we'll let it go this time.
That's really me? Isn't this doctored?
But Amanda refused to admit it. Realizing it was pointless to argue, my husband ignored Amanda's denial and decided to resolve things with Henry. As a result, Henry took Amanda's phone and deleted the social media posts right in front of us. He also promised to ensure she would never bother us again. Well, the issue's resolved, but it leaves a bad taste, I said. Amanda left, still muttering about how she was right and how much she despised me. Her intense obsession made me fearful of Amanda all over again. Is this really over? I couldn't help but wonder. Later, my husband looked up some information online and suggested that Amanda might have had paranoid personality disorder. Amanda's behavior indeed had many similarities to what we read online, and the Amanda I knew long ago was not like this. Even so, that doesn't justify spreading baseless rumors or hurting others. No matter the reason, the bitter aftertaste didn't go away. One day, as we were preparing for the cafe's opening with these heavy thoughts on our minds, another letter arrived in the cafe's mailbox. It was from Amanda. For a moment, my heart skipped a beat, but seeing that this time there was a stamp on it, I realized it had been sent from somewhere far away, which brought me some relief. What could it say? I'm scared to read it. I didn't have the courage to read it alone, so my husband and I read the letter together. Inside, it was filled with harsh words, written with an aggressive hand. Amanda ranted about how she was hospitalized with a terminal illness, and not even her son would visit her. And just like before, she blamed everything on me. It was unfair, she thought, that I was the only one who got to be happy. What if she comes back to cause trouble after being discharged? The fear of that possibility made my spine tingle as the memories of the past returned. However, my husband quickly found out that there was no need to worry. It turned out that Amanda was hospitalized in a facility specializing in end-of-life care. In other words, her illness was beyond treatment. I was heartbroken over the tragic fate of someone who was once my best friend, but realizing that I no longer had to fear going through that again brought me a sense of relief, leaving me with complicated feelings. With those mixed emotions, the cafe's opening day finally arrived. As friends from the community and neighbors streamed in, my daughter Mary came by with her husband and our grandchild.
Dad, Mom, congratulations on the opening.
Thank you all for coming today. Please, make yourselves comfortable.
Thank you. Oh, and here, this is a gift from us to celebrate the opening.
Mary handed me a large paper bag. Wow, thank you. Can I open it?
Of course.
Excitedly, I opened the bag to find a cute teddy bear inside. Its paw was embroidered with Mary's birth date and birth weight. Mary, is this?
You mentioned wanting one of these a while ago. You've seemed a bit down lately, so I went all out. Please, take good care of it.
It was an original bear that was popular long ago, made to commemorate a child's birth. This teddy bear wasn't just embroidered, it was also made to match the baby's birth weight. Holding the bear, you could feel the weight of your newborn child, bringing back memories of that precious moment. I'm so glad this child is mine, truly glad. As soon as I felt that, tears began streaming down my face.
You're so happy you're crying? I'm glad.
Mary said this with a joyful smile, hugging me. One of the customers, seeing this scene, said, "Congratulations on the opening," prompting a warm round of applause inside the cafe. I'll never forget this tear-blurred scene. I have so many people around me, I thought, feeling incredibly reassured. There might be more unimaginable hardships awaiting us in the future. But I knew that my husband, Mary, and all of our friends would continue to support me. So I decided to move forward without fear. That's what I resolved to do.